everyone, and welcome to day 10 of the 12 days of Christmas. Today I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before, and that is making a gingerbread house. And thank you to my Aunt Judy who got it for me and encouraged me to make a video about it. So this is going to be interesting. Hopefully it turns out okay. But I did notice on the outside of the package that it takes 3 to 4 hours to set. So I'm starting this early so that I can get everything set and then come back in 3 to 4 hours to decorate it for you. So let's open it up and see what the instructions say. It says, important, completely read through instructions before you begin. So I'm going to do that so that this doesn't get messed up. Helpful hints. Be sure to start assembling your house 3 to 4 hours before you want to decorate. Yep, figured that out. Don't worry if you should crack or break a cookie panel while working with it. Just use the icing as glue to join the panels. Let's set at least 1 hour and then continue assembling and decorating. Oh boy, well let's hope I don't do that because I don't have all day to do this. Remember that icing sets quickly. When you're not using the bag and tip, cover tip with a damp cloth or place in a sealed plastic bag. Be sure to place your candy within 5 minutes of icing to ensure they will adhere. So step 1 is prepare the cookie. Before you even begin to assemble your house, check all the panels. As with any baked product, sometimes there might be slight shape variations in the cookie panels. Look over all the cookie panels to be sure the edges are straight. Using a plastic ruler and a sharp knife, trim the bottom and inside edges on each panel so they will align when assembled. Okay, well, let's take a look at them and see. Step 2 is to prepare the base. The base is made from the cardboard insert that is included with the wrapped cookie panels packed in the carton. Place the insert on a flat surface to use as your base for building your house. And I'm going to have to relocate this after I do it, so that's why I'm putting it on a cookie sheet because I can't leave it here with Duncan in the house. So first things first, I guess, put the base down. Next step, it says prepare the decorating bags. Assemble bag and decorating tip. Cut approximately 3/4 inches off pointed end of decorating bag with scissors. Drop the decorating tip into the bag so half of the tip is exposed. If necessary, trim bag a little at a time until tip fits correctly. If I'm totally honest, this already seems a bit complicated to me, but I'm not expecting to make it perfect, but I do hope that it will work. So again, it says cut approximately 3/4 inch off pointed end of decorating bag. Drop the decorating tip into the bag so half an inch of the tip is exposed. If necessary, trim the bag a little at a time until the tip fits correctly. So let's give that a try. So I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I cut the bag too much, so be extra careful when you're cutting and maybe put the tip in first despite what the directions say and then figure out how much to cut. But the good news is that because I do baking for beginners videos, I have a backup bag. Now it's not as strong and sturdy as the original bag, but it's going to have to do the trick. So now it says to fill the bag with icing. Snip one corner of the ready-to-use icing packet to allow icing to flow. Cuff open end of decorating bag over your hand. Squeezing the icing packet, fill bag with no more than ½ cup of icing. How do they expect you to just guess and estimate these measurements? To close, unfold cuff and twist top of bag shut. Note, it's important to tightly twist the top of the bag so icing does not come out of the top while decorating. You can also secure twisted top of bag with a twist tie. I'm just going to read ahead a bit in the instructions so that I can then just do all of this stuff instead of stopping and explaining and possibly having things go wrong. So we're going to add the icing into our bag. Then it says how to use the bag to decorate. To hold bag correctly while decorating, curl fingers around the bag with the twist between your thumb and index finger. This forces the icing down into the tip each time you squeeze. Apply even pressure with all fingers. The icing will come out of the tip until you stop squeezing. As you decorate, periodically twist the bag to force the icing down into the tip. Use fingers of other hand to guide the tip as you decorate. When the bag is empty, simply untwist and refill bag as above. Then it says to assemble the house. This kit includes 6 cookie panels, 2 peaked panels, 2 side panels, and 2 roof sections. So we're first going to join one side panel to one peaked panel. Pipe icing along bottom of the side panel and along bottom and inside edge of the peaked panel. Join the panels so that the side panel is positioned on the inside edge of the peaked panel. Press sides together and attach to the base. Hold in place several minutes until icing begins to set. If necessary, prop the panels with heavy jars or cans on each side so that they stay together and straight. Let's give this a go. So I had no idea how much was involved in making these gingerbread houses, but I'm glad I'm doing it on a weekend because it's going to be very time consuming. So I attached the first side panels. Let me just tell you that this icing is very difficult to work with. It doesn't stick to the gingerbread and it kind of flakes and falls everywhere. And I just read that after I attach the other sides, I have to let it sit for an hour before going on to the next step. And then before decorating, you have to let it sit for another 3 to 4 hours. So this is going to be an all-day thing, but I do have to get a lot of other things done today, so I'm going to have to go off and do those in between steps. But for now, I'm going to attach the other sides, then let it sit for 1 hour, and then I'll be back. It's time to attach the roof, and it says pipe icing along roof angle of both peaked panels and along top side panels. Pipe icing along the long side of one roof panel. This will be the peak of the roof. Position one roof panel so it meets peaked panel and side panel edges. Hold this half in place while you add the other roof panel. Adjust so that each side is evenly pitched and the center seam meets. Press and hold in place several minutes to allow icing to set. Then we go and wait another 2 and 3 hours before further decorating. Just a little tip for you, it's very helpful to have a second pair of hands, especially when putting on the roof. Scott was nice enough to help me out, but it is a little bit difficult sometimes to maneuver these things with just 2 hands, so you may want to get a little bit of help from somebody. But I'll see you in another 3 hours. Okay, so now that's been sitting for 3 hours, and now it's time for the fun part, the decorating. And there are no instructions for the decorating, so I guess you just do it however you feel like. But it includes gumdrops, little candies, some red icing, and green fondant. So this should be interesting. So here it is, the finished product. I will say decorating was probably the most fun part, but I did find it a little bit challenging working with the icing that they gave. I couldn't work with the fondant at all. It just would not mold into what I was trying to mold it into. And the white icing is sticky, which I get to keep the gingerbread house together, but it's also kind of just falls everywhere. So it's sticky like in your hands, but when you're trying to apply it to the gingerbread house, it just kind of falls down everywhere. So that's why I grabbed a spatula to kind of try to spread it around. But for my first ever gingerbread house, I think it came out well. I think I will enjoy it. My recommendations if you try one of these kits would be to have your own piping bags and maybe even get some of the spreadable cake icing to put on the sides and top, because I found it a bit difficult. I found this side especially difficult once I had done all of the other sides because I really didn't have anything to grip onto. But a cute little gingerbread house for my first one ever. Have you ever made one of these kits? And let me know how it turned out for you. There are only 2 videos left in my 12 Days of Christmas videos, which is hard to believe, but I hope that you are enjoying them. So stay tuned for the last 2. Give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!